The High Court on Monday dismissed the forfeiture of 2,435 pieces of jewellery, 7 Richard Mille watches and 29 Hermes handbags seized by the police in May 2018. The raid was conducted at the Pavilion condo owned by OBU Holdings in the middle of May 2018, following Barisan Nasional and ex-Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak's loss in the 14th general election. OBYU is owned by businessman Tan Sri Bustari Yusof, the brother of Caretaker Works Minister Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof. Judge Datuk Muhammad Jamil Hussein says the prosecution had failed to prove that the items were products gained from a criminal breach of trust using funds from beleaguered State Fund 1MDB. This follows the court finding that the affidavits by Main Investigating Officer Assistant Commissioner R. Rajagopal and also Superintendent Fu Wei Min had failed to prove CBT of 1MDB funds either from Blackstone Asia Real Estate Partners, Goodstar or Alson Chance Holdings. The court also ruled that there was no evidence that the 2.963 billion ringgit in funds obtained in Najib's AmBank Islamic account ending with the number 9694, which came from Prince Saud Abdul Aziz Al Saud, resulted from unlawful activities. The prosecution, led by Deputy Public Prosecutor Fatin Hadni Khairuddin, then applied for a stay of the ruling pending a decision on whether to appeal. However, the judge rejected their request. Datin Sri Rosman Mansor, sporting an all-red outfit along with Najib, who was wearing a royal blue blazer and a matching blue tie, were present during Monday's proceedings. Najib was brought from Kajang Prison, where he is serving a 12-year jail sentence after being found guilty in relation to charges related to SRC International. The government has declared November 18th and 19th as public holidays to enable electors to exercise their right to vote in the 15th general election. Bernama quoted Caretaker Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob as saying that November 19th is also declared a public holiday as there may be some companies from the private sector, especially factories, that will be operating on that day, making it difficult for their employees to cast their vote. He goes on to emphasize that the right to vote is a right guaranteed by the Constitution, and he doesn't want even a single person to be prevented from voting. On November 7th, QPAX had proposed the government declare a special public holiday for November 18th to facilitate the movement of Malaysians to the polls. Malaysia votes on November 19th with early voting on November 15th. Petronas Gas saw its third quarter net profit fall by 27% year-on-year to 425.8 million due to a mix of higher operating costs, mainly related to fuel gas and internal gas consumption costs, and an unfavourable foreign exchange movement. This was despite revenue improving by 9.6% to 1.56 billion from the 1.43 billion posted last year, as its utilities segment reported a higher top line as a result of higher product prices in line with higher fuel gas prices. Gas declared a third interim single-tier dividend of 18 cents per share payable on December 12th. Looking ahead, Gas says the demand for gas and utilities is expected to improve as the country transitions to the endemic phase of COVID-19. It expects its performance in 2022 to remain resilient on the back of long-term contracts that ensure steady revenue streams, particularly for its gas processing, gas transmission and regasification business segments. Nevertheless, Gas also notes that the rise in the Malaysia reference price, further weakening of the ringgit versus the US dollar, and the imposition of the one-off prosperity tax will continue to impact its performance. Even so, Gas says that continuous efforts will be pursued to deliver operational excellence and ensure a sustained level of returns to its shareholders. Minority shareholders of ACE Market-listed Hexa Industries have been told to reject the takeover bid by its major shareholder, Hexa Holdings, as its independent advisor deems the offer price of 38.175 cents per share as not fair and not reasonable. Hexa Holdings owns a 45.66% stake in Hexa Industries, formerly known as SCH Group. In a Bursa Malaysia filing on Monday, Malacca Securities said even though the offer price is higher by 30.49% than the estimated value of Hexa Hexa Industries shares of 29.256 cent as at November 7th, it is still 33.61% lower than the November 7th closing price of 57.5 cent and 38.08% lower than the 5-day volume-weighted average market price, which is where the not fair comment comes from. As for the not reasonable, Malacca Securities points out that the offerers intend to maintain the listing status of Hexa Industries, and thus shareholders will have the opportunity to realize their investments on the open market. It was reported that Hexa Holdings is 64.7% owned by Dato Eddie Ong Chu Meng, together with his parents, Dato Ong Sung Ho and Datin Teo Siu Yok alias Teo Siu Chin. The takeover offer will remain open until November 23rd. Kejuruteraan Sastra has inked 20-year solar power purchase agreements with Next Green Pulp and Paper, a subsidiary of Next Green Global. In a statement, the engineering and energy solution provider said it had signed 2 PPAs with Next Green to design, construct, install, own, operate and maintain solar PV systems with total combined capacity of 3,387 per kilowatt hour on rooftops of multiple production plants and buildings at Next Green's Green Technology Park in Pekan, Pahang. KAB said Next Green will also purchase the solar PV energy generated. It said solar PV systems will be installed in 2 phases, with phase 1 having an installed capacity of 2,507 per kilowatt hour and phase 2 with 880 per kilowatt hour. KAB says the PPAs are expected to contribute to its financial performance in 2023 upon their completion within 9 months of installation commencement. KAB Managing Director Dato Lai Ken Ong says the group looks forward to future collaborations in providing a wider range of sustainable energy solution expertise as Next Green continues to develop its sustainable green technology park. Lai says KAB's sustainable energy solution segment had 11 operational solar PV contracts in Malaysia and Thailand with a combined installed capacity of 12,931 kilowatt per hour, as well as cogeneration and waste heat recovery facilities.